Hello everyone and welcome to the Zoom training workshop. My name is Kaylee Sheets. I'm so glad you could join us. I'll be walking you through this workshop today and hopefully answering all of your questions and getting everyone set up to fully participate in the regional meetings. Now, before we get started, I have one quick request for everyone. If you haven't already discovered all of the features of this platform before, either through previous Zoom meetings or by clicking around, I am going to ask that you follow along with the instructions and avoid clicking any random or unprompted buttons or tabs, just so that everyone has a chance to get a thorough overview and we can keep it focused on the step we're on. If you require or feel more comfortable listening to this workshop in French, feel free to click the translation button, so moving your mouse to the bottom of the screen, click interpretation or translation, and select French. You'll then be able to hear the French translation while watching this video. So the overview of the main platform, what you're seeing is this main display. So right now we're watching a screen share. Now when you're watching a screen share, it defaults to full screen. But every time I move my mouse, you'll see at the top, you'll have a green, you are viewing so-and-so screen, view options, so you can change your size. So fit to window, original size, etc. Exit full screen, annotate, all of those options. You'll also see whenever I move my mouse that this bar at the bottom of the screen pops up. Now, if you are on a tablet or a phone, this may appear a little different for you. On a phone, you can swipe to go from screen to screen, swiping left to right or right to left, depending on which screen you're on. If you're on a tablet, where this bottom bar may appear may be on one of the sides of your app, depending on how you've joined today. If you're joining us by phone, I apologize, you can't see anything right now, but feel free to even open up a Zoom if you have the app installed on your computer. Feel free to open that up on there and follow along as the buttons remain in roughly the same locations. So if we want to leave full screen, I want to see something a little different. So the way I can do that is by either hitting escape, similar to how you exit full view in a movie or any other recording sort of software. Or I can move my mouse up to the top to view options and exit full screen. So we're going to do that now. So now we're in the default screen. So you'll see on the top right corner here of this recording, it shows that Tech Maritime Zoom Training is talking. Now, if I had my video on, you would be able to see my video either at the top or the side of your screen. If I want to change my view, the way to do that is move my mouse to the corner. Now it prompts me to do full screen. However, if a video was on, or if there were multiple videos on, I would be able to click this and it would allow me to change my view, either viewing the main speaker only or view everybody's video at once. Now, because you're watching a recording right now, at this point, you'll only be able to make it full screen. However, during the regional meetings, we may have more than one person with their video on at a time. So if you want to see all speakers at once, you can do that by clicking this button here. It'll say view beside it, and you can change how you want to see it. All right, so the next button we're going to move to is the chat button at the bottom of your screen. So when I click on this chat button, it'll open up this chat window. I can either make it big, I can make it small, I can also move it to the corner of my screen. When you're looking at this, you'll see two different types of messages. It may show up as from me to everybody, or it'll say direct message next to it. Now, these are test messages that I've done between myself and the other user in this meeting. So you'll see at the bottom, it'll say to everyone. So anything I type in here will show up in the public chat for everyone. So if you click on the chat button now, you'll be able to see what everyone's been saying in the chat. If I want to send a direct message, I click the blue button next to 2. I select the person that I want to send a direct message to, and then I type my message, like so. Now, this is only to that end user. And you'll be able to tell, again, by that red direct message next to it. And that also shows up down here. The thing to watch out for is it does not default back to everyone. It stays at the last setting you set it to. So if I want to go back to talking to everybody, I select the 2, and then I'm sending one back to the main group again. So at this point, if you haven't already, open up the chat box and say hello. Let me know where you're joining from. Town, county, area, what have you. Me, myself, and I am actually in Alberta currently. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the video and audio settings. So if you move your mouse to the bottom of the screen, you'll see the microphone in the video symbols. So right now I am currently talking, which means my microphone is filling up and down with this green line showing where my audio level is. If I'm talking really quietly, it doesn't move up very much. But if I'm talking very loudly, you'll see it fills that microphone up even further. So if I want to mute myself, I simply click on the mic symbol. To unmute, I click the symbol again. You're always able to tell if you are muted or not by that red line. Currently my video's off, but my microphone is on. If we need to adjust settings, I may direct you to hit this button later on. You'll hit the little up arrow, and then you'll be able to select where your microphone is, what your speaker is. We could test it. Audio settings, you can switch to phone audio if you're joining through a phone, or leave your computer audio. Same thing with the video. So to turn your video on, you click this button. You can turn it off the same way. And then settings is the little up arrow beside it. So at this point, we're going to do a quick audio and optional video test. So we're going to start at the top of the list. I'm going to work my way down. As I say your name, turn your mic on using the steps we just outlined. Say hello. And then if you want to test your video, or if you have video capabilities, feel free to turn your video on at the same time, again, by hitting that video button. So as I say your name, please turn your video on. Once we confirm that it is on and working, and the same with your audio, then you can turn them off by, again, hitting that button and the other button. The next step we're going to do is the participants button. So you'll see at the bottom here, participants. I'm going to click that button, and it'll open the participants list typically on the right-hand side. Again, this is for iPad and browser and app users. If you're on your mobile, simply swipe, I believe it's to the left. If you're on an Android, it might be to the right if you're on a iOS. Or depending on your version of iOS, it may be the little person symbol at the bottom of your screen, and you'll be able to see the list of everyone who's here. Now, we're not going to get too much into how to use these functions, but there are a couple things that we're going to want you to know about. First off, you're going to want to find your name. So at the top of this list is the host, which is myself. You'll see next to my name, there's a little microphone symbol, and then there's a little video symbol with an X through it. Underneath that is everyone else in the meeting. Now, your name should be at the top of that list. It will say, similar to how mine does, it'll say me. Check that and make sure that your name is showing as your proper name. If it doesn't, here's how you change that. Put your mouse over top of your name, click More, and then click Rename. It'll have a little pop-up window. You'll be able to enter the new name in there. Click Rename, and then your name should appear as you inputted it. So if you notice that your name is not correct, please go ahead and do that step now. Let me know if you have any issues in the chat. The second thing that we're going to cover is what happens if I want to send someone a direct message. So I want to send myself, Kaylee Sheets, a direct message in here. So I'm going to click on her name, and you'll see in your chat box that 2 is now Kaylee Sheets. So what I would like everyone to do right now is find me at the top of that list. So find Tech Maritime's Zoom training, click on my name, and then send me a quick message in the chat. This message can be whatever you like, and I'll give everyone a couple of seconds to get that done. Then once you've done that, click 2 and change this back to everyone. So that's the second way that you can send a direct message to someone. If you don't have the chat window open, but you see someone's name in the participants panel, you want to shoot them a message, that's the way you would do that as well. All right. One of the final things we're going to cover is how to raise your hand. So in the participants panel window, at the bottom, I have some extra buttons that you will not see on yours, but you will see generally where more is. You will either see a raise hand button, or you may have a more with a menu, and then you'll see a raise hand button once you click that menu. Now, this is the way to put a little blue hand next to your name in the Zoom panel. So a quick demonstration here, you'll see that Kaylee Sheets has raised her hand. Now this prompts me as the moderator or a moderator in the workshop that you would like to speak. We'll test this function out in just a second once we get to the Q&A. But once I see a little blue hand, that prompts me as the moderator that you would like to verbally ask a question or take a turn saying something. So once I see that, then I'm going to prompt you to turn on your microphone. Now, if everyone can go ahead and raise their hand following these instructions, I'll start at the top of the list, and as you raise your hand, I will prompt you to turn on your microphone. Please turn on your microphone only. Fantastic. And finally, if you want to lower your hand, again, that same button that'll be on the bottom right-hand side, it'll say lower hand, and that will lower the hand there. Now, that covers the basic uses of the Zoom platform. We are going to do a little bit more of a trial and error here, and feel free to put any questions you may have in the chat. Alternatively, if you do have audio capabilities, so your microphone is working, but you are still running into some issues with the interface, feel free to raise your hand or put in the chat that you'd like to ask me a question. I'll unmute your mic and you can go ahead and ask. Thank you so much for attending this training, and let's get started with any questions.